What is going on, everybody? This is Johnny, and today we are talking nuts. Candied nuts. They are utterly delicious and rather inexpensive to make. However, if you get them in the stores, they usually don't taste all that great. One could say they suck. And they're also rather expensive. Today we're going to focus on pecans, or pecans, however you want to say it. But this recipe also works for walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts, whatever nut you want to put it on. That being said, your baking time is going to vary depending on nut choice. So it could be plus or minus 10 minutes. You just really want to keep an eye on them. A burnt nut is a bad nut. Here's what you'll need. We're going to start out by adding parchment or a silpat to our baking sheet. I highly recommend these silpats. They last for years. I'll throw a link in the description to them. Next, we are going to mix our dry ingredients together. We have our sugars, then we will add our salt, cinnamon. I also recommend using some fresh grated nutmeg. The flavor is just outstanding. You'll find a link in the description to that as well. It's hard to find in stores sometimes. We are now going to mix all of our dry goods together as best we can. You can use a whisk or a fork to help with this. If you have small clumps, it's not a big deal. After that, we move on to our egg whites. Now we want to beat these until they're a little foamy, and then we will add our vanilla. If you find that your eggs aren't getting foamy at all, it's probably because you pierced the yolk and got a little bit of fat in there. The fat will prevent the proteins from binding in the egg white, so you'll have to start over if that's the case. Add your vanilla, and then continue to beat the egg whites until you have stiff peaks. Now, stiff peaks will allow you to turn the bowl upside down and nothing should come out. You'll notice the peaks in the middle of that bowl are not falling over, hence stiff peaks. Now it is time to combine everything. We're going to begin by taking our egg whites and folding those into our nuts. Make sure you use an appropriately sized bowl because this can get a little messy if you don't. Don't worry if your egg whites look a little deflated at this point. It's not a big deal. We just want to gently coat the nuts with the mixture. From there, we are going to mix in our dry mixture, folding it over to get an even coating. We'll take the mixture and then place it evenly in a single layer on our baking sheet. I highly recommend setting a timer. Here I have a multi-stage timer. We want to check this every 15 minutes. This particular batch ended up taking 38 minutes, but it can vary, like I said, depending on your oven or the type of nuts you're using for this. Pop them in the oven and start your timer. Each time we check them, we want to give them a good stir to make sure nothing is sticking together, and we give them the best opportunity for cooking evenly. Nuts have a high oil and therefore fat content, which really allows them to hold heat well. When we approach our level of doneness, we want to take it out slightly before it's done. If you leave it in the oven too long and pull it out, there's going to be carryover cooking, which can take it into the realm of burnt. Burnt nuts taste acrid and are not nearly as pleasing as when you get them just right. 38 minutes later and this batch is done. If you start to see a deep brown approaching a black, you've gone too far. If you think you've gone too far, when you pull them out of the oven, immediately put them onto a cool surface. However, if you've done it just right, you can leave them on the hot pan, and that'll help that sugar cure to a nice hard coating. Now, you can put these on a salad or a cheese board, but frankly, I just like them in a bowl because they stand alone as one of the greatest snacks ever. So good. Candying your own nuts. It doesn't suck.